afford to. Great, I'll put that in the number one bucket. So I've got urgency to replace all those category ones today based on the interaction that we did together. Make sense? So I've got a commitment on company, I've got a commitment on the product, I've got a commitment on the action today. All I gotta do now is make it affordable, right? But I always like to condition it before I move on to price presentation by just one sentence pre-close. So I've got all the doors dead bolted. I'm this close to the finish line. And I'm gonna say this, Mohammed, other than price or payment, is there any other reason we couldn't get your project started today? Awesome. And if I get an affirmative to that, I'm rolling right into the price. My personal opinion, I like to hear a negative reaction to that, as silly as this sounds. I like to hear a negative reaction to that rather than a positive. Why do you think I say that?
Gives you somewhere to go.
Partially. Here's my philosophy. I feel like if I did a wonderful presentation, masterful presentation up to that point, I've showed them cost versus value, how much 10 windows cost in DFW, right? Premium vinyl window, $1,800, $2,200, whatever it shows. You can go to Remodeling Magazine, cost versus value. Do you have that currently? Do you all carry that with you? Yeah. How many times are we showing it though? I always just have it on a piece of paper and have it highlighted, DFW, because I think the average cost is around $2,000. Are we typically going to be more than that? No, we're going to be less than that. But it validates what everybody else is charging, so we should never really have a price objection, right? But the reason I like to hear no or a negative reaction to that is I feel like when I hear that they're going to be thinking this window I just showed them, along with the company story that I told them, if the average cost is $2,000 a window, they got to be thinking mine costs $3,000 if I did a hell of a job. Does that make sense? So they're probably not going to be agreeable when I ask them that question. So I'd rather have them giving me a negative reaction by saying something like, well, probably not today, maybe down the road. There's a lot of different things that you can hear. So Stephen, give me a negative reaction. I'm going to pre-close. Other than price or payment, is there any other reason we couldn't get your project started today?
It was something that I spoke to my wife about. We're interested in it, but we're just not ready right now. I mean, it's just, we'd like to get it done.
Okay, here's my card. No, I'm kidding. Stephen, I understand completely, so acknowledge it. If I'm hearing you right, and I think I am, you and your wife just want to be comfortable with whatever decision you make today. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we would like to get done.
Yeah.
Today was just kind of an opportunity to understand what it might cost.
Understand. Well, I'm not here to make you uncomfortable or to have the price or payment stand in the way of what you need. Quite frankly, what you deserve. I think it's, like you said, be a perfect fit for the home. So let's look at the numbers and let's see what it looks like. Okay? So what did I do right there to put him at ease? Because more time, you're going to get 50-50. Some people are going to say yes. I've seen more yeses turn into no's than I've seen no's turn into yeses. I will tell you that. So you empathize with them. You put their defenses down. You have a calming effect. When you get to the close, sometimes when we're in the process, inspecting and demoing, sometimes we talk fast. Sometimes we're going 100 miles an hour. Make sure when you get to the pre-close that your cadence slows down, that your voice is a little calmer, and you talk a little slower than you talk at other points in the process, okay? And the pre-close is simple. Other than price or payment, would there be any other reason we couldn't go ahead and get your project started today? Don't sit like this. Don't do the old used car salesman stare down. God, I had a ride along about 2 years ago in Tucson. I was nervous. This guy was just staring him down. He was a car guy. You gotta be calm, man. Kick back in your chair. Have your surface right there, right? Ready to go. And then wait for a reaction. So when we show price, we want to show the retail price, right? We will have the ability to do that. So Stephen, I got your project here. I've got all 10 of those windows with our top of the line 250 Signature Series exclusive window brought to you by Lowe's. I've got it all the way down. It's only $14,928. 3 different ways that you can purchase that. I want to do something that's comfortable for y'all. I've got a 6-month deferred. That works really good if people, you know, at the end of the year, maybe they're waiting for a tax refund to come back. Maybe they're waiting for a year-end bonus. I see that happen on a daily basis. So perfect to give you a little bridge to that. Comes with a small monthly payment. If you want to write a check or get airline points, any kind of points on a credit card, you have the ability to pay cash or use a credit card. Or what most of my customers do, because life happens, most of my customers are choosing this 120-month easy pay program. So on this particular project, you'd be looking at $174 a month is all. So when the time comes to do this project, which one of those ways do you think you would probably utilize when the time comes?
Well, certainly, probably would finance at least a portion of it.
Okay.
You know, when the time comes, I think we'll save some money to get it done and finance the rest.
Got it. So let me ask you all a question. When I went through those options of how to take care of it, what did I emphasize and how did I emphasize it? And why did it maybe make sense? Well, I said earlier, you can't offer financing, you have to sell financing. So what did I do specifically that would categorize what I did there as selling financing rather than offering it? Gave them options.
Show the benefits of each option.
Showed the benefits and talked about the benefits of each option.
Related to past.
Yeah.
Correct. And then another very important thing.
You gave
when
a monthly price instead of the full price, because when they hear monthly, it's better than that bigger grant price.
When I talked about the EASY program, what did I say?
It's only this month for a month.
And I said, what most of my customers are doing. So people want to run with the herd. Can we all agree with that? We're trying to keep up with the Joneses. When you hear that this is what most of my customers are doing, now in their mind they're like, oh, hell, everybody else is doing that? Yeah, we can do that. $168 a month. Rather than having people go, oh, I would never finance anything for 10 years. Have you ever heard that? Oh, I would never finance anything at 9.9%, right? Yeah. And so when it comes to selling financing, if you get a negative reaction or somebody says that, so yeah, I understand. I probably wouldn't take out a 120-month, note to do windows either. I would never do an 84-month payment on a new pickup truck. As much as I'd like to have a new truck, guess what they're doing? Now they're going to 8 years, right? So, but you have to have a conversation about it. You know what? I probably wouldn't either. But here's what I want you to understand. The average person, the majority of our customers that are using that, they ain't sitting on it for 10 years, right? It gives you the benefit of having a low monthly payment that's extremely comfortable so that when life happens, if it does, and you have an event in your life, like a transmission or your refrigerator goes out or you need a new roof, so many things in life can happen that are out of our control, and none of them are cheap. At least it gives you the ability to make that low monthly payment comfortably. And most of our customers don't pay that minimum amount. They're ganging up on it when times are good. I think the average lifespan of that probably in the neighborhood of 4 to 6 years. So don't feel bad about the length of time or the total of payments, because if you're like most of our customers, you're gonna pay it off really easy.
I always tell the customer there is no penalty charge to pay that.
Bingo. No prepayment penalty.
That's a quick question.
Quick question, yeah.
Do you feel that it's in bad taste to remind the customer what else they're financing if they're against financing options?
Let me hear what it sounds like. I don't ever finance, Steve. So, and I can't afford to write you a check for 12 grand, so I'm sorry, I'm just gonna have to pass.
So you're not financing your home at the moment?
Ooh.
But
maybe not ask it like smart.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe not ask it like smart ass.
They're gonna be like, yeah, get out my home.
I don't have that conversation, so I don't know how to attack it.
whatever comes up in the close, always make sure you acknowledge it first and empathize, right?
I
So,
understand.
I understand
but I'm
exactly,
seeing two options.
I understand exactly what you're saying, Rusty. Believe me, I've had a lot of other customers that have felt that exact same way. But what they found is after analyzing it, they start going, okay, yeah, that new car, I guess I did finance that. The house I'm in, yeah, I guess that was 30 years, not 10. So, yeah, I understand what you're saying, yeah. I probably would have to finance this if I do it. And then if you get a negative ever get a negative reaction to the interest rates? Does anybody ever get negative to that? How do you handle that, Lou? Lou, man, I love you, I love the product, I love Lowe's. I would love to do this with you. Man, I ain't paying 9.9%. Are you out of your mind?
I can certainly appreciate
It's crazy.
that. Basically, most of the customers that choose to get into that type of financing are able to pay it off without any prepayment penalties. So I don't really see in the situation where you're going to be paying all of that finance charge.
That makes sense,
Yeah.
right? How else can you normalize?
John,
Normalize it.
you would say, so what interest rate do you want? Because we have all of them, let me tell you, 0 and everything. I mean, there's no, yeah.
You got to normalize it. So I remember when our rates first went up, and we went from 5.9 to 8.9. The salespeople thought, man, I'll never sell a job again. That's crazy. Because mortgages were 3.25, right? So you have to be able, you have to know a little bit about financing, right? Secured loan versus unsecured loan. Your house is secured, right? Because they can foreclose on you if you don't make your payment. I can't come take the windows out. So this is a signature loan. And I encourage anybody who's got access to a computer right now, Google consumer loans in Dallas-Fort Worth right now and tell me what the average rate is of a consumer loan. Because what you'll find is if it's less than 10 grand, you're probably looking at double digits at a very minimum or on the average.
Since
You can
it's
also-
lower than most credit cards out there.
And how,
You can also remind them of the actual credit cards APR too, because if you tell them like, hey, well, if you go to 6, 12, or 18 months and you don't pay it off, well, then
Boom.
you're gonna be spending this much
29.99
in interest
first child.
versus
What do you say,
9.9.
0.99%?
And your first child, right?
That's another way to push that, to let them know what the
Put it
actual.
in perspective, because we're not just offering it, we're selling the financing. Did you come up with a rate?
So that's actually,
Okay.
that's actually one of the things we're advising.
Go to bankrate.com, that's a great resource for everybody, write that down. Bankrate.com will show you like the going rates, best rates out there.
I was gonna say, one of the bigger objections that I get a lot is when presenting financing to customers is not so much the financing itself, it's when they realize that it's gonna be on a Lowe's credit card, like the biggest objection is, oh, I don't need another credit card, or I already got like 8 credit cards, or I just bought a house, it's currently it's on hold, I can't apply for anything right now. So what would you recommend for like customers who are like, I just don't want another card?
Some people feel like they know their credit, it's a little shaky.
Sure.
They're embarrassed to apply for anything else.
Yeah. I guess it would depend on the context as to how I would handle that, so. I'm showing you a price, I'm showing you the finance options. So when the project's completed, would you like to use a 6-month deferred, write a check or pay cash, use a credit card, or would you prefer the Easy Pay program at $192 a month? Now hit me with what you were just saying.
So you said that's on a Lowe's credit card, right? Well, I already have like 6 or 7 credit cards right now. I don't really want to apply for another one.
Okay.
Sure, what credit card would you want to put that on?
That's exactly where I would go.
Okay.
Beat me to the punch, man. Yeah, no problem. Which credit card would you like to put it on? We'll get you the points for it.
Okay.
Put it on your Southwest, get those points.
I got too many
I use
points.
American, but
My wife's good at racking up those points, let me tell you. What else? What's a common objection? We got 3 minutes left. We're actually over 3 minutes, but it's okay. No, we do have 3 minutes left.
Well,
Look
I'm
at my
gonna
head,
like
Kim
to
Dang. I got that clock in my head, Kim Dang.
pray on it.
Pray on it, okay. So keep in mind, anytime you get an objection, repeat it, isolate it, and then try to overcome it. So other than the fact you want to pray on it, Rusty, is there any other reason would keep us from moving forward today?
Well, me and my wife, we always like to sleep on it and discuss it, and, can I give you a call tomorrow morning?
Understand it completely. Yeah, you can give me a call anytime. Be happy to earn your business, but, you know, I always say this, it's a great, best time to make a decision is when all the facts are right in front of you. You mentioned earlier, you're 100% comfortable with using Lowe's. This is the only product you indicated you wanted to use. Those 6 windows we're talking about, you told me you want to get them done as soon as possible, or as soon as you can afford to. I mean, it seems like all the systems are go. We got green lights, so help me understand what's your trepidation. Is it the price or the payment?
Neither one. We just like to talk things over and take our time. We just don't jump into making decisions like
Other
that.
than wanting to talk it over, is there any other reason we couldn't earn your business today?
No.
Great. Here's what I'm gonna do, Rusty. Got a lot of stuff here to pack up. I'm gonna take this stuff outside. I'm gonna give you and your wife, you know, when you say talk about it, I hear that a lot. Most people, when they wanna talk about it, it's not like they wanna have a 1 week long conversation. It's usually a matter of a few minutes. So I'm gonna go outside, take my kids out here, and after you guys talk about it, throw a rock at me, flip the light on, flip me off, whatever you wanna do, and then I'll come back.
You forgot your shoes, sir.
Take your shoes with you.
It's
Sorry,
Rusty, I hope we're praying to the same God, because when I was out there, I hit my knees and I said, Lord, please make Rusty make this right.
I'm sorry, my dog just chewed up your shoe.
And I got a yes from the Lord. What, did you get a yes? That's what I do. I do a porch light. Do you guys ever do that? Do you ever do a porch light? If somebody tells you they need
I have.
they need to talk about it a little bit, acknowledge it. Some people do need to talk about it. So, but isolate it, acknowledge it first. So it sounds like you need a few minutes to talk about it. I get it. You know, I've got a wife at home, and I totally 100% understand you to talk about it, probably not with a goon like me staring you down. So I'm gonna take my stuff outside, you know, give you plenty of time, take what you need. I've got emails to return, I've got some work I'll be getting done. And once you've made a decision and talked about it, flip the light, throw a rock at me, flip me off, whatever, and then we'll come back in and get it settled. Does that sound good? And just leave. Don't give them time. Say, no, I'll call you tomorrow. They don't call. Maybe they do here, but I never got a call. I think even those good old boys that tell you, you know what, I'll call you one way or the other. I had one guy call me. Like, one guy in 30 years. Did you get more of them here? Huh? No, they don't call here either. Yeah. But to your point, sometimes they need a few minutes to talk about it. Give them the time. Other than that, always repeat, isolate. Other than that, is there any other reason that we can keep you from moving forward today? Great, I'm gonna respect your time. I want you to talk about it. Make sure you're making the right decision that's comfortable. I'm gonna go outside, take this stuff out. I got some emails I need, probably missed 4 or 5 phone calls, so I'll just be working diligently in my car. After you guys have had ample time to talk about it, just wave at me and I'll come back in and let me know what you decide. Fair enough? It works. I mean, that's like a go-to close when that comes up. What else? We have 22 seconds. Anything else you want to chat about? Any other objections that are top of
Some of them are
mind?
going in for home equity loan, they needed a price.
Time frame. Waiting for an insurance check.
So let's talk about that one real quick, Rusty. Let's talk about that one real quick. What's a home equity line of credit right now?
9 and a
That's
half.
something you don't wanna do.
You're gonna have an appraisal fee, you're gonna have an origination fee, you're gonna get a rate that's probably gonna be higher than what I'm gonna show you. It's revolving, so you're paying interest on the entire amount every month, not a fixed interest like what I'm showing you. So again, selling finances, I believe that what we have to offer them is much better than a home equity line. And it's a signature loan. The equity you have in your home, you keep that equity so that if you do need it down the road for a major expense.
8.4.
8.4 on a home equity line. Wow, that's revolving credit. You know what I mean when I say revolving? You can zap that interest on that 20 grand every month like a credit card. Ours is fixed rate in term. much better deal. At 8.4, 9.9 on 120 months is a much better deal. So part of it's just understanding financing. And a consumer loan, I guarantee you, is double digits. I know it is in North Carolina. Johnny?
Team online, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to
They
ask
see my
any
socks?
questions. You guys see those socks? Anybody on the team chat have a question?
You don't smell.
Unmute your mics and ask.
So senses.
Sell into the senses. Yeah, I'm gonna use that sense of smell. Any questions in the chat?
It's like 22% for consumer.
No, no new questions.
Cool.
Well, team, we appreciate your time in joining us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, guys and gals, I appreciate the time.
Just a quick question in regards to going back to Vendo with, we're exclusively just selling color for this pilot. During this time, what if we have a customer that rehashes or whatever, may already have something built? Is there a way to be able to?
For like a repeat.
Like